Okay, good morning, grade 8s. Today we're going to look at congruency. Yesterday we looked at similarity. Just a reminder on similarity. The two conditions to prove similarity is angle, angle, angle. All angles correspond from the one triangle to the other triangle. And with that also, that creates that all sides are in proportion. Okay, so today with congruency, there are 4 conditions for congruency. But let's have a look. What is congruency? Okay, congruency is when two shapes are exactly the same shape and exactly the same size. So if you say that they are congruent to each other, it means that they are exactly the same shape and exactly the same size. Okay, as I mentioned that there are 4 conditions for providing congruency with triangles. The first one is side, side, side. So if you can prove that all sides from the one triangle is exactly the same distance for the other triangle, then they will be congruent. The second one is side, angle, angle. So if you've got one side and 2 angles, or if you take it from the other side, 2 angles and a side, can you see it's just switched around? That will also prove congruency. And the third one, side, angle, side, very important. It has to have a side, and in between those 2 sides, there is an angle that is also the same from the one triangle to the other triangle. And the last one, a 90-degree hypotenuse side or a right-angled hypotenuse side. Okay, so there are the 4 conditions to prove congruency: side, 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 angle, angle, side, or right-angled hypotenuse side or 90-degree hypotenuse side. Okay, let's have a look at a side, side, side question where 3 or 2 triangles have been given, and clearly you can see that it's marked that the one side has one stripe which is the same size as the other triangle side, which is marked with one stripe. So they will ask you, prove that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. Again, the write-up is very important, the order of it. It means that angle A would be equal to angle D, angle B would be equal to angle E, and angle C would be equal to angle F. The same as well with the sides. AB will be the same as DE, BC would be the same as EF, and the first and last AC is equal to DF. Okay, so that is also still holds even with congruency. We looked at that very carefully with similarity, and that also still holds with congruency. Okay, so you're going to start. In triangle ABC and triangle DEF, you can see the following that is the same. AB is equal to ED, and that is given, or DE. BC is equal to EF, that's also given, and AC is equal to DF because they're both marked with 3 stripes, and that's also given. So thus we can conclude that these 2 triangles are congruent. Thus triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF, and your reason there, very important, you have to state side, side, side. All right. The next one, an example, is side, angle, angle. And as you can follow it, can you see that you've got AB as a side, and then you've got a 50-degree, and then you've got a 60-degree. And the same if you follow DEF, you've got a side, then you've got an angle, 50 degrees, and then you've got an angle, 60 degrees. So they ask you, prove that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. So just label for yourself all the things that you can find that is exactly the same from the one triangle to the other triangle. So let's start with the side. AB is equal to DE. That has been given. Angle B is equal to angle E. That's also given. And angle C is equal to angle F. That's also given. So what do we have? We've got a side, an angle, and an angle. And that is one of the reasons to prove congruency. So thus, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF, and your reason there is side, angle, angle. Okay, then side, angle, side. Please remember that that angle is in between the two sides. All right, very important. Can't be side, side, angle. That is not a condition for congruency. Okay, so the two sides, and then in between the two sides, you have the angle. All right, so they say to you, prove that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. And then you're going to say, in triangle ABC and triangle DEF, you're going to label what is the same. AB is equal to ED, that's given. Can you see that that's a side? Yes. B is equal to E, so angle B is equal to angle E, and that is also given. That's an angle. And then lastly, BC is equal to EF, and that's also given, and that is a side. So thus, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF because we've got a side, an angle, and a side. Okay, and the last condition for congruency is right angled hypotenuse side. So, or 90-degree hypotenuse side. So, very important, you have to have a 90-degree in your triangle and the hypotenuse. Remember, the hypotenuse is directly opposite the 90-degree sign, and you have to have a side. This could have been any side. It could have been given as AB is equal to DE, or in this case, BC is equal to EF. Okay, so you always start in triangle ABC and triangle DEF. The following I do note. B is equal to E is equal to 90. You could have added that, and that is given. AC is equal to DF, which is the hypotenuse, that is given. And BC is equal to EF, that is also been given. Thus, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF, and that is a right-angled hypotenuse side for your reason. All right, let's have a look at an example together. Prove that triangle ABD is congruent to triangle CBD. So please note what is very important about this. If you look at the order that they've written that up, we can say that angle A is equal to angle C, angle B is equal to angle B, which we can see already given, and angle D is equal to angle D. All right. And also AB is equal to CB, BD is equal to BD, and AD is equal to CD. All right. So what we're going to do, all we're going to do is we're going to start by writing up the things that are the same or equal to each other. Let's have a look. Okay, you always start with in triangle ABD and triangle CBD. All right, I can see AB is equal to BC. Side AB is equal to BC, and that has been given. All right, so we've got a side that is equal to each other. Then we can also note that B1 is equal to B2, and that has also been given. That is an angle that is the same. All right, so now we've got a side and an angle. So either we need another angle or we need another side. All right, so who can guess what is the third thing that is the same? Okay, let's have a look. I hope you could manage to see maybe this, that BD is equal to BD. And I know it sounds weird or funny to say it twice, but BD from the one triangle, that side is the same as BD from the other triangle. And the reason there is they're sharing that side. It's a common side, which means that they should be the same size or the same length. Okay, so whenever you see two triangles crossing each other, have a look and see whether you can't find a common side where they are sharing the same side. Okay, so now we've got a side, an angle, and a side. And we know that SAS proves congruency. So we're going to say thus triangle ABD is congruent to triangle CBD because of side, angle, side. All right. Thank you very much for watching. Please do the following 4 questions. They are also on the to-do list for today. You will find them at the bottom there. Obviously, because in this slideshow it will maybe finish quickly, or if you pause it, there's icons going over it. So please have a look at your to-do list. You will find the questions there as well. You must have a wonderful day. Thanks, A.